For St. Peter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. After listening to my senior colleague and member for St. Philip's North and his passionate and emotional discourse, I sat here and realized, Honourable Member for St. Philip's North, that's why you're so fortunate to be in this honourable house for so many years unbroken, and I'm sure you'll be there for many, many more years to come.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to congratulate you, sir, on your excellent presentation. You spoke as a true politician who cares about not only your constituents, but the country and nation on a whole.
Thank you, sir.
You spoke from your heart. Although you and me may differ philosophically on the program of citizenship by investment, and as I said when we passed the amendments and the regulations in the last sitting, Madam Speaker, that I do have some concerns with those regulations and amendments. I still support the program, but not in its present format and in the present manner in which the UPP administration has gone down to implement it. And I made that lucidly clear, as our former leader would say, that I could not, in all good conscience, after coming to this Parliament in November of last year and espousing my arguments why I was for this program, and then coming back 3-4 months ago when we passed the regulations where we were giving teeth to the legislation. And those regulations, I must say, I was very disappointed, where we were discounting the fees. And I said in this honourable house that it was a giveaway. It was a vulgar and rampant giveaway of very much well-needed revenue to discount the program in such a manner and to bring down those fees from nearly 400,000 US in some instances to 150 and 200,000 US, and to claim that we are doing that, as the Prime Minister got up, the Honourable Member for St. John's, Rural West, at the time, stated it was to jumpstart the program. In my humble view, that's not to jumpstart the program. That was a wholesale giveaway of the program, and also even run the risk of having the program run into jeopardy, into problems with other foreign governments like the Canadians, the British, and the Americans. But I really wonder, Madam Speaker, I'm not going to be long on this, because I just want to give some teeth to what the member for St. Philip's North said, and to reiterate, in terms of the timing of this bill, we were told by the Honourable Attorney General this morning in his presentation that this personal income tax amendment bill that we have before us is to coincide with the citizenship investment program. And under the personal income tax, as we have it now, Madam Speaker, the tax is on worldwide income. This bill, Madam Speaker, that we're proposing to discuss today and to pass in this Honourable House, in effect, will be exempting all foreign sourced income from personal income tax. And as the member for St. Philip's North pointed out, rightfully so, the effect of doing so will be to encode the practice now prevailing where one is not taxed on worldwide income. Madam Speaker, I really want to ask if the government of the day, the United Progressive Party, their advisors, their technocrats, have really had the chance to think through and give creative thinking to what they're seeking to do in the matter of not taxing worldwide income on persons subject to tax in Antigua and Barbuda. And let me just pause here and say that this is actually a moot point when we win the elections. Because as you know, Madam Speaker, the Labour Party have repeatedly said, the former leader, present leader, other members, that the Antigua Labour Party, upon being returned to office, will abolish personal income tax. So this will be a moot point for members and Antiguans in our society if there is no income tax. However, presently, the government of the day has on the books personal income tax, and we are all subject to that. And in the meantime, Madam Speaker, persons who are resident here for tax purposes may indeed wish Antigua to be the taxing country. And this is why I'm saying they're not very creative. You have expatriates, you have accountants at Price Waterhouse or Cooper's, what's the new name of the accountant firm there? Grant Thornton, bank managers, insurance expats who are here. and they may have British citizenship, Madam Speaker, and they may rather that the income would be, where that income is sourced, would be taxed. In other words, they could be a British citizen, but they're working in Antigua, and they would be rather to have the tax paid in Antigua. And that is why, Madam Speaker, you have to understand that there's serious implications for possible avoidance of what we have presently in terms of double taxation treaties. For example, when we were in office, we agreed and negotiated very successful with the British government, I think it's still on the books, a double taxation treaty with the United Kingdom government. Am I correct? It's still on the books. So you could have a British citizen living here, working here, and prefer to have his tax deducted, not from England, but to be paid in Antigua. And that is a great benefit to him. Also, Barbados, for example, has a strategy, Madam Speaker, of negotiating double tax agreements with various countries around the world, even more than us. Their financial sector has done extremely well in Barbados, and it's because of this. For instance, with Canada, this has led to a lot of Canadian investors coming down to Canada, buying homes at Sandy Lane Estates. Even with Ireland, a lot of Irish wealthy investors investing in Barbados. You see the whole development of Port St. Charles, Port Ferdinand, and this is as a direct result, Madam Speaker, of those double taxation treaties that Barbados was able to negotiate. So what I would suggest to the Honourable Minister of Finance, why don't we be more proactive and go and try, I know the Americans are not going to want to have a double taxation treaty with any of these islands, but go and try and negotiate other double taxation treaties with other trading partners, with Canada, with Australia, with Dubai. That's the thing. If these citizens are going to be coming from those countries, whether it's from Dubai, whether it's from Russia, whether it's from Ireland, go and send out a task force to seek your technocrats, your senior members in your Ministry of Finance, because double taxation treaties can only benefit us as a small island to attract direct foreign investment. What is the effect, Madam Speaker, of removing the tax on worldwide income on the ability to negotiate double taxation treaty agreements? It's an impediment. If you remove the tax, Madam Speaker, then how are you going to go out and negotiate those double taxation treaties? You would not be able to do so. So I humbly suggest that the technocrats must look deeply into these aspects before they rush to tamper with the tax system, Mr. Minister, to satisfy just the citizenship investment program. You can't tamper with a whole tax system that has been working, where you have double taxation treaties, where it is an incentive for investment to come to the country other than citizenship by investment, and tamper with your whole system. And the other more fundamental point that I want to make today is that fundamentally, and even constitutionality, I think that
hold on, somebody's telephone is on vibrate and is interrupting the transmission.
And it's off.
Thank you. You can continue.
Yeah, I was saying, Madam Speaker, and I wish the Attorney General was here, but even more fundamentally, Madam Speaker, I think that this could be on the verge of an infringement of your constitutional rights as an Antiguan. How can you, as an Antiguan businessman, you are earning tax on your income here in Antigua. You have to pay. You have to pay also on your worldwide income if you have a U.S. passport. There's a case where I know several Antiguans who are both Antiguans and U.S. citizens have now, even lawyers have given up their U.S. citizenship because they're required to pay on their worldwide income. But then if, by what we're doing here, we'll be exempting this special class of citizens from that type. And then isn't that discrimination? And isn't that against the whole Constitution? In the spirit of the Constitution? This exemption must also be accorded to Antiguans, Madam Speaker. It must, if you're going to exempt it for the persons, that's the point that I want to get up here and say today, if you're going to have to do it, which I don't think you have to, I think the way to go is to go and negotiate more bilateral double taxation treaties. You know where these citizens will be coming from. You know which countries they'll be applying for. Send out your people and get your people to go and do the homework. Not just come into this parliament and this is the easiest way, this is the less creative way. I mean, come on, man, where are your creative juices on that side? You know, you don't have to go and just simply say, oh, because we have to do the citizenship investment program, it will not be successful if we don't exempt their worldwide income on tax, but all Antiguans must still pay on their worldwide income. That discrimination, in my view, unconstitutional. Can't be right. You can't just pass legislation, tamper with your whole tax system just to satisfy a specific class of citizens. In my view, Madam Speaker, that is discriminatory. The other last 2 points that I want to say, Madam Speaker, if you look here in the bill that we are proposing today, Section 2, Section 2I, it reads, the income of an individual derived from proceeds of a contractual arrangement to which the government and the individual parties and the cabinet has, by order published in the Gazette, exempted from the payment in whole or in part of the tax payable by the individual on his income that is derived from the contractual arrangement. Madam Speaker, this is madness. Why should somebody doing business with the government? It could be a very lucrative contract, Mr. Minister. It could be a contract for services for millions of dollars. Why should he be exempted? So what happened to all your local Antiguan business people who every year enter into contracts, whether it's for service of vehicles, whether it's for private services, whether it's for power substitution, supply, whatever it is? Why are you exempting this special class of people? Because they may have a contractual arrangement with the government, and the individuals, the parties, the cabinet, all the cabinet have to not have to come here to Parliament, just say, we exempt it, you don't have to pay no tax, but our local business people doing business with the government. So you hire Cage Roberts, you hire Tommy Joseph, you hire Adid Construction to build a big building, build this Parliament, build the airport, whatever. They have to pay tax at the end of the year on the profits of their business. And it could be a contract with APUA, it could be a contract with St. John Development or with the central government. That, again, Madam Speaker, in my humble view, is discriminatory. And it's against the whole vein of not looking after our local business people and saying that because these foreign people are coming in, they're helping us to promote this business, get it off the ground, that any contract that they have, the cabinet has the right, in the cabinet's discretion, to exempt it from tax without coming here to Parliament. We need to know what that contract is, what benefit it's going to bring to the country and the people, how many people they're going to employ, and why we'll be required to exempt them from corporation tax. Am I not correct, sir? You can't just really nearly exempt them because they have a contract with the government. I totally disagree with that. So I would ask and humbly suggest to the honourable member for St. John City East, when we go in committee stage, to look at that or maybe shed some light if I've missed something. And my last point, Madam Speaker, is in J, the emolument and gratuity payable to the Governor General and the emolument and gratuity payable to the Governor General's widow under sections 3, 6, 7, 9, and 11 of the Governor General Emoluments and Pensions Act 2006. I would widen that, Madam Speaker, and I would say, why not include national heroes and their widows? I mean, Governor General, yes, is important. What about national heroes and their widows, Madam Speaker? What about former Governor Generals and even former Prime Ministers and their widows, Madam Speaker? So I definitely think that in committee stage, I suggest to the honourable members for St. John City East that we look at those 2 points. The contractual arrangements, where you're exempting under I think that that is discriminatory, that is unjustifiable, and you're discriminating against our local business people who will also be supplying services and goods to your government every single day. They're required to pay tax. And also in J, I think it's not a big point, but it's important in terms of the respect to our former national heroes and existing national heroes, their widows, former Governor Generals, and former Prime Ministers. And the last point, Madam Speaker, I need some clarification. under note 2H, it said service charges and tips to individuals engaged in the hospitality industry exempt. I have nothing against the hospitality industry. It's important, our main industry, our tourism industry, Madam Speaker. But it's not defined, and it therefore begs the question as to who is covered by this exemption, Mr. Minister. Exactly who is covered? What is the magic of just the hospitality industry? And give us a wider definition. Because what are you saying, the tips to gas station attendants, or the tips to barbers if you're going to a barber shop or you're going to a hair salon, those are not exempted? That again will be discriminatory. You will be faced with an anomaly if you are a barber or hairdresser, for example, at a hotel, and your tips will be exempt, but you own your own barber shop downtown or in your village, and your tips are not exempt. It has to be even across the playing field leveled, Madam Speaker. So I will wind up by saying, Madam Speaker, I repeat again, philosophically, fundamentally, I've always been for this program. However, when we came to do the amendments, I made my position lucidly clear that I was not happy with the wholesale giveaway, the vulgar abuse of the reduction in the fees, which I really think and is convinced that is an election gimmick, to try and rake in as much money as possible in 9 months, and what was magical about 9 months, I do not understand. And then, Madam Speaker, I have to support the member for St. Phillips North in his most passionate, emotional speech that he spoke from his heart today. And he's totally right that this is discriminatory, whereby you cannot have two classes of citizens. If you're going to exempt it for the PIT citizens, you also have to exempt it for our Antiguans. And I told them, Mr. Leader, when you're out, it will be a moot point, because when we gain the power, personal income tax will be totally abolished, so that will be a moot point. But I also told them, Mr. Leader, that they should be creative like us. Go out and do like Barbados and negotiate other double taxation treaties. Just like what Lester Bird did when we were in power, we negotiated a double taxation treaty with the United Kingdom. Because a lot of those citizens, those British expats who work and live here in insurance companies or banks or whatever businesses they do here, they're very happy to have a double taxation treaty. They rather pay the tax in Antigua.
Honorable member, it's me talking to you now, not your leader.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
But I am just repeating what I had said earlier. And I said to them, Madam Speaker, that that would be a much more beneficial way than just carte blanche exempting this class of citizens, which I feel is infringing on your constitutional rights, and is an infringement of the Constitution, and it is wrong. So with those few words, Madam Speaker, I take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.